Part 1, The Cosmic Gambit. The arrival of the Elysian Empress. Commander Lucas Grayson stood on the observation deck of Etheris 9, Earth's most advanced deep space research station. The stars outside shimmered like diamonds scattered across velvet, but tonight, something felt off. The void seemed to hum with an unfamiliar energy, as if the cosmos itself was holding its breath. His neural implant chimed with an urgent alert. Unidentified vessel approaching. Configuration unknown. Energy signature exceeds known parameters. Lucas's heart raced as he activated the holographic display. The ship that materialized before him was unlike anything he'd ever seen, a sleek, iridescent craft that seemed to ripple like liquid starlight. Before he could issue any commands, the ship vanished. Not through conventional faster-than-light travel, but as if it had simply ceased to exist. Seconds later, the air on the observation deck shimmered, and she appeared. The challenge. Empress Seraphina of the Elysian Dominion stood nearly 7 feet tall, her skin a deep, shimmering violet that seemed to capture and reflect the light of distant stars. Her eyes were pools of swirling gold, and her armor flowed like liquid metal around her. 4 guards materialized behind her, their presence imposing yet silent. Commander Lucas Grayson, she spoke, her voice carrying both authority and an almost musical quality. I am Empress Seraphina. We have been observing your species with great interest. Lucas maintained his composure, though his mind raced. Welcome to Etheris 9, Empress. Though I must admit, we generally prefer advance notice for diplomatic visits. A faint smile played on Seraphina's lips. This is not a diplomatic visit, Commander. It is a test. The chessboard of destiny. With a wave of her hand, a holographic chessboard materialized between them. The pieces were unlike any Lucas had ever seen, crafted from crystallized light, they pulsed with an otherworldly energy. Play against me, Seraphina said, her golden eyes intensifying. If you win, the Elysian Dominion will share technological advancements that will propel your species forward by centuries. If you lose, she paused, her gaze locking with his. You become my consort, bound to the Elysian Dominion forever. Lucas studied the board, his mind racing. And if I refuse to play? Then we leave, Seraphina replied, her tone firm. And humanity continues its slow crawl toward the stars, unaware of the threats that lurk in the darkness between galaxies. The first move. Lucas took a deep breath, his tactical mind already analyzing the board. I accept, he said, stepping forward. Though I should warn you, Empress, I once beat the station's AI at chess while running on nothing but synthetic coffee. Seraphina's smile widened slightly. Then this should be interesting, Commander. Shall we begin? As the first piece moved across the board, Lucas couldn't shake the feeling that this game would change not just his life, but the course of human history. What he didn't know was just how right he was. Part 2, The Void's Whisper. The game intensifies. The crystalline chess pieces hummed with an otherworldly resonance as Lucas made his first move, a classic king's pawn opening. Seraphina's response was immediate, her queen gliding across the board with fluid precision. The observation deck's ambient lighting shifted, casting ethereal shadows across the holographic battlefield. Your species has a fascinating relationship with games, Seraphina observed, her golden eyes tracking each piece. You turn them into metaphors for war, love, life itself. Why is that, Commander Grayson? Lucas studied the board, noting how the pieces seemed to pulse in response to their thoughts. Maybe because games help us understand things we can't control, he replied, moving his knight. They give structure to chaos. The void rifts revealed. As the game progressed, the holographic displays around them flickered with urgent warnings. A massive quantum anomaly had appeared at the edge of the solar system, its presence distorting spacetime itself. Lucas glanced at the readings, his brow furrowing. It seems our time grows short, Serafina said, her voice tinged with urgency. The void rifts are spreading faster than anticipated. Void rifts? Lucas asked, capturing one of her pawns. Is that what's causing these anomalies? Serafina nodded, her expression grave. They are tears in the fabric of reality, created by an ancient species we called the Nethari. They believed they could reshape the universe by unraveling its very fabric. Instead, they destroyed themselves, leaving behind these rifts that consume everything in their path. A desperate alliance. Lucas moved his bishop to protect his vulnerable flank. Your people have been containing these rifts for millennia, haven't you? Yes, Serafina confirmed. But recently, they've begun behaving differently, almost as if they're evolving. Our logical approach is no longer effective. We need a new perspective, Commander. Human unpredictability, combined with Elysian technology, might be our only hope. Lucas felt the weight of her words pressing down on him. This wasn't just a game anymore, it was a test of humanity's potential, their readiness to face threats beyond their comprehension. The dance of chaos and order. As the chess match continued, Lucas began to see parallels between the game and the larger cosmic conflict. Serafina's moves were precise and calculated, but he noticed gaps in her strategy, spaces where chaos could flourish. You're not just testing my chess skills, are you? Lucas asked, moving his queen in a seemingly illogical pattern. You're evaluating how I think, how I adapt. Serafina's eyes sparkled with something that might have been admiration. Precisely, Commander. Your species is young, but you possess something rare in the galaxy, unpredictability. And in the face of the void rifts, that might be our greatest weapon. The turning point. The game reached a critical juncture as Lucas sacrificed a key piece to create an unexpected opportunity. Serafina's eyes widened slightly as she realized his plan. You're not trying to win in the traditional sense, she said, her voice filled with intrigue. You're changing the nature of the game. Sometimes winning means redefining the rules, Lucas replied, his gaze locked on the board. Your people have been fighting the void rifts like a force to be contained. But what if we treated them like a dance partner instead? Led them into their own entropy. Serafina leaned forward, her golden eyes reflecting the holographic pieces. You suggest we use chaos to fight chaos. Controlled chaos, Lucas corrected. Human unpredictability guided by Elysian precision. Not containing the void rifts, but leading them into a dance of mutual destruction. A new strategy emerges. The chessboard had become a tactical simulation, their pieces moving like fleets across the cosmos. Each move brought new possibilities, new ways of thinking about the cosmic threat that loomed ever closer. As the final moments of the game played out, Lucas maneuvered his pieces into an arrangement that defied conventional strategy. Not seeking to win, but to create something new, a demonstration of his theory. Remarkable, Serafina breathed, seeing the pattern emerge. You've turned the entire board into a metaphor for our battle against the void rifts. Lucas nodded, moving his final piece. Not checkmate in the traditional sense, but a new kind of victory altogether. The bond forged. The game board shimmered and dissolved, but the connection forged between Lucas and Serafina remained. Through the observation window, the distant void rift pulsed ominously, as if sensing the change in its opponent's strategy. So, Lucas said, a slight smile playing at his lips, does this mean I technically won or lost the whole marriage proposal thing? Serafina rose from her seat, her liquid metal armor flowing like starlight. Perhaps the question itself was based on outdated thinking. We sought to bind our peoples through traditional means, victory and defeat, dominance and submission. But you've shown us a better way, partnership, collaboration, a dance between order and chaos. She extended her hand to him, and Lucas took it, feeling the strange cool smoothness of her skin. Together, Serafina said, her voice filled with determination, we might just save the universe. Part 4, The Quantum Sacrifice. The calm after the storm. The void rift was gone, but the aftermath of the battle left Etheris, 9 in a fragile state. The station's quantum core had been pushed to its limits, and the Elysian ships sacrificed in the fight were a sobering reminder of the cost of victory. Commander Lucas Grayson stood in the observation deck, staring out at the stars, his mind racing with the implications of what they had just accomplished. Empress Seraphina joined him, her presence as calm and regal as ever. "You are troubled, Commander," she said, her golden eyes studying him. "We won," Lucas replied, his voice heavy. "But at what cost? Those ships, their crews, they're gone. And the quantum core is barely functional. If another rift appears, we might not be so lucky." Seraphina placed a hand on his shoulder, her touch cool and reassuring. "Sacrifices are inevitable in war. But their loss will not be in vain. We have proven that our alliance can overcome even the greatest threats. Now, we must prepare for what comes next." A new threat emerges. As if on cue, Dr. Alira Thorne entered the observation deck, her face pale. "Commander, Empress, we've detected something. Another anomaly, but this one is different." Lucas turned to her, his heart sinking. "Another rift?" "Not exactly," Dr. Thorne replied, pulling up a holographic display. "It's smaller, but its energy signature is unstable. It's as if the void rift's collapse created a ripple effect, destabilizing spacetime in this region." Seraphina studied the data, her expression grim. "A quantum echo. The collapse of the rift has left a scar in the fabric of reality. If left unchecked, it could grow into something far more dangerous. The quantum core's limits." Lucas ran a hand through his hair, his mind racing. "Can we use the quantum core to stabilize it?" Dr. Thorne shook her head. "The core is too damaged. Even if we could repair it in time, the energy required would risk a catastrophic overload. We need another solution." Seraphina's gaze shifted to Lucas, her golden eyes filled with determination. "There is another way. The Elysian Dominion possesses technology that can stabilize quantum echoes, but it requires a direct link to the anomaly. Someone would need to enter the echo and activate the stabilizer from within." Lucas frowned. "That sounds like a suicide mission." "It is," Seraphina admitted. "But it is the only way to prevent the echo from growing into a full-blown rift." The decision. The weight of the decision pressed down on Lucas. He looked out at the stars, his mind racing with the possibilities. If we don't act, this echo could destroy entire star systems. But sending someone in there, it's a death sentence. Seraphina stepped forward, her voice steady. "I will go." Lucas turned to her, his eyes wide. "What? No. You're the Empress. Your people need you." "And your people need you," Seraphina countered. "But this mission requires someone with a deep understanding of both Elysian technology and the nature of the anomaly. I am the only one who can do this." Lucas shook his head. "There has to be another way." "There isn't," Seraphina said firmly. "This is the sacrifice I must make. For my people, for yours, and for the galaxy." The preparation. The station's crew worked tirelessly to prepare for the mission. The stabilizer, a small, crystalline device, was loaded onto a shuttle along with a modified Elysian suit designed to protect Seraphina from the echo's unstable energy. Lucas stood beside the shuttle, his heart heavy with conflicting emotions. "You don't have to do this," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Seraphina turned to him, her golden eyes filled with resolve. "I do, Commander. This is my duty, just as it is yours to lead your people. Together, we have faced the impossible. Now, I must take this final step." Lucas reached out, taking her hand in his. Then let me come with you. We're partners, remember? Seraphina's lips curved into a faint smile. Your courage honors me, but this is a journey I must make alone. You must stay and lead. The galaxy will need you in the days to come. The journey into the Echo. The shuttle launched, its sleek form disappearing into the swirling energy of the quantum echo. Lucas watched from the observation deck, his fists clenched at his sides. The holographic displays showed the shuttle's progress as it navigated the unstable currents of the Echo. She's approaching the epicenter, Dr. Thorne reported, her voice tense. The stabilizer is ready for activation. Lucas's heart pounded as he watched the shuttle's signal flicker on the screen. Come on, Seraphina. You can do this. The sacrifice. Inside the Echo, Seraphina guided the shuttle to the heart of the anomaly. The stabilizer hummed with energy, its crystalline surface glowing brighter as it absorbed the Echo's chaotic energy. This is it, Seraphina whispered, her voice calm despite the storm raging around her. She activated the stabilizer, its energy surging through the shuttle and into the Echo. On Etheris 9, the holographic displays flared with light as the Echo began to collapse. The station shook violently, alarms blaring as the energy waves rippled through space. The Echo is stabilizing. Dr. Thorne shouted. But the shuttle, it's being pulled in. Lucas's heart sank as he watched the shuttle's signal disappear from the screen. Seraphina. The aftermath. The quantum echo collapsed, its energy dissipating into the void. The station fell silent, the only sound the faint hum of the life support systems. Lucas stood on the observation deck, staring out at the stars, his heart heavy with loss. She did it, Dr. Thorne said quietly. She saved us. Lucas nodded, his voice barely above a whisper. She saved us all. A new hope. As the days passed, the crew of Etheris 9 worked to repair the station and honor Seraphina's sacrifice. Lucas found himself reflecting on her words, her courage, and the bond they had forged. One evening, as he stood on the observation deck, a holographic message appeared before him. It was Seraphina, her golden eyes filled with warmth. Commander Lucas Grayson, she began, her voice steady. If you are seeing this, it means I have succeeded in my mission. Do not mourn my loss, for it was a necessary sacrifice. Our alliance has proven that even in the face of chaos, order can prevail. Lead your people with courage, and know that the Elysian Dominion stands with you. Together, we will face whatever the universe throws at us. The message ended, leaving Lucas standing in silence. He turned to the stars, a faint smile touching his lips. We will, Seraphina, he whispered. We will. Part 3, The Dance of Chaos and Order. The aftermath of the game. The observation deck of Etheris 9 was alive with activity. Holographic displays flickered with data streams, monitoring the void rift at the edge of the solar system. Commander Lucas Grayson stood beside Empress Seraphina, their chess game now a distant memory, but its implications still reverberating through the station. Your strategy is unconventional, Seraphina said, her golden eyes reflecting the swirling data on the screens. But it has potential. If we can apply this dance of chaos and order to the void rifts, we might stand a chance. Lucas nodded, his mind already racing with possibilities. We'll need to act quickly. That rift is growing, and if it destabilizes further, it could consume entire star systems. The team assembles. Seraphina gestured to her guards, who stepped forward. These are my most trusted advisors, Sentinel Krios, our foremost expert on void rifts, and Ambassador Zanara, who will facilitate communication between our peoples. Lucas turned to his own team. Lieutenant Karavas, his second-in-command, and Dr. Alira Thorne, the station's lead quantum scientist, joined them. We'll need everyone's expertise to pull this off, Lucas said. Kara, coordinate with Sentinel Creos on tactical deployment. Dr. Thorne, work with the Elysians to analyze the rift's energy patterns. The plan takes shape. As the teams began their work, Lucas and Serafina retreated to a private chamber to refine their strategy. A holographic projection of the void rift filled the room, its dark, writhing edges pulsing with ominous energy. The rift is a tear in spacetime, Serafina explained. It consumes matter and energy, growing stronger with each passing moment. Our traditional methods of containment have failed because the rift adapts to our logic. But your idea of using chaos against it, it could work. Lucas studied the projection, his mind racing. We need to create a counter-rift, a controlled anomaly that destabilizes the void rift from within. But to do that, we'll need to harness energy on a scale we've never attempted before. The quantum core. Dr. Thorne entered the chamber, her face alight with excitement. Commander, we've analyzed the rift's energy signature. If we can modify the station's quantum core, we might be able to generate the energy needed to create a counter-rift. Modify the quantum core? Lucas repeated, his brow furrowing. That's a risky move. If we overload it, we could destroy the entire station. It's a risk we'll have to take, Serafina said firmly. The void rift is a threat to all life in the galaxy. We cannot afford to hesitate. Lucas nodded, his resolve hardening. All right. Let's do it. The dance begins. The station's engineering team worked tirelessly to modify the quantum core, while Lucas and Serafina coordinated the deployment of Elysian and human forces. Sentinel Creos and Lieutenant Kara Voss led a squadron of ships to the edge of the rift, ready to execute the plan. As the quantum core reached critical energy levels, Lucas stood on the observation deck, watching the void rift through the vast windows. The writhing darkness seemed to pulse in time with his heartbeat, as if it sensed their plan. This is it, Lucas said, turning to Serafina. Once we activate the counter-rift, there's no turning back. Serafina placed a hand on his shoulder, her touch cool and reassuring. We are ready, Commander. Let us dance with chaos. The counter-rift. With a final command, Lucas activated the quantum core. A beam of pure energy shot out from Etheris, 9, striking the heart of the void rift. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the rift began to convulse, its dark edges twisting and writhing as if in pain. It's working! Dr. Thorne exclaimed, her eyes glued to the holographic displays. The counter-rift is destabilizing the void rift from within. But their victory was short-lived. The void rift began to expand, its dark tendrils reaching out toward the station. It's fighting back, Lucas muttered, his hands tightening into fists. We need more power. The sacrifice. Serafina stepped forward, her golden eyes blazing with determination. There is a way, she said. The Elysian ships are equipped with energy conduits. If we link them to the quantum core, we can amplify the counter-rift's energy. But that would mean sacrificing the ships, Lucas said, his voice heavy with the weight of the decision. It is a necessary sacrifice, Serafina replied. The lives of many for the survival of all. Lucas hesitated, then nodded. Do it. The final gambit. The Elysian ships moved into position, their energy conduits linking with the quantum core. The counter-rift's energy surged, striking the void rift with renewed force. The two anomalies clashed, their energies colliding in a spectacular display of light and darkness. On the observation deck, Lucas and Serafina watched in silence as the void rift began to collapse in on itself. The station shook violently, alarms blaring as the quantum core reached its limit. We're losing power. Dr. Thorne shouted. The core can't handle the strain. Hold it together. Lucas commanded, his voice steady despite the chaos. Just a little longer. The rift collapses. With a final, blinding flash, the void rift imploded, its dark energy dissipating into the void. The counter-rift followed suit, its energy fading as the quantum core shut down. The station fell silent, the only sound the faint hum of the life support systems. Lucas let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding, his legs trembling with relief. "We did it," he said, turning to Serafina. "We stopped the rift." Serafina's golden eyes met his, a rare smile touching her lips. "Together, Commander. We stopped it together. A new beginning." As the teams celebrated their victory, Lucas and Serafina stood on the observation deck, watching the stars. The void rift was gone, but the threat of others loomed on the horizon. "This is just the beginning," Lucas said, his voice quiet. "There will be more rifts, more threats. But now we know how to fight them." Serafina nodded. "The dance of chaos and order. A partnership between our peoples. Together, we can face whatever the universe throws at us." Lucas turned to her, a smile playing at his lips. "So, does this mean we're officially partners now?" Serafina's smile widened. "Indeed, Commander. Partners in chaos, order, and everything in between."